You ever stop and wonder what's uh, really going on inside the heads of people like Einstein or, say, Elon Musk?
Yeah, it's easy to just label them geniuses, right? Like it's some kind of magic.
Exactly. But what if?
Yeah.
What if that genius is actually more about, you know, powerful mental habits, things maybe we could all learn?
Well, that's what's so interesting. The sources we looked at suggest it's less about a different kind of brain and more about using the brain you have just differently.
Okay, so that's our mission today then. We're diving into some material to pull out, what, 7 of these mind hacks?
That's right. 7 practical things that could potentially, supercharge your thinking, creativity, maybe even your focus. Stuff you can try pretty much immediately.
All right, let's get into it. Hack number 1.
Think in images, not just words.
Okay, so instead of just facts rattling around, you're actually picturing things. I remember reading Einstein said his thoughts were mostly visual.
Exactly that. Imagine like tackling a problem by visualizing the pieces moving, almost like a mental movie playing out.
Hmm. And the sources mention metaphors, too, like seeing a goal as a mountain to climb. How does that actually help?
Well, our visual processing is incredibly powerful, much faster in some ways than just linear words. Think about remembering faces versus names, right?
Yeah, faces are way easier.
So creating these mental movies or metaphors taps into that. It can seriously boost memory and help you see connections you might otherwise miss. It's great for complex problem solving.
Makes sense. So the takeaway is try turning complex stuff into pictures in your head.
Pretty much. Give it a shot next time you're grappling with something tricky.
Okay, hack number 2. Ask better questions. Don't just hunt for answers.
Yeah, this one's key. We're often so focused on finding the solution fast.
Right, jump straight to the answer.
But people like Richard Feynman, for instance, they really pushed on the question itself, questioning the assumptions, asking things like, okay, what am I taking for granted here? Or what else could this possibly mean?
So digging deeper into the question itself leads to more original thinking.
Absolutely. It forces you to look at the problem from different angles before you even start solving. So if you're stuck, maybe don't just look harder for an answer, but try reframing the question you're asking.
Interesting. Okay, number 3. Use the 30-second rule for focus. Pausing for 30 seconds. In today's world.
I know it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it's not about procrastination, it's preparation.
Preparation how?
The idea is to just take half a minute before you start a task. You consciously focus, maybe set an intention, take a deep breath.
Ah, okay, so it's like a mini mental reset.
Exactly, like rebooting your brain just for a moment. It helps you go into the task with, clarity instead of having your mind scattered everywhere. A small pause for potentially big focus gains.
I can see that. Now, this next one, productive daydreaming. I definitely thought daydreaming was the opposite of productive.
Well, it turns out strategic mind wandering might be really valuable. It seems to activate the brain's default mode network.
Default mode network.
Yeah, and that network is actually surprisingly important for creativity, for seeing the bigger picture, for those aha moments.
Hmm. So letting your mind drift off while, like, walking or showering isn't always bad.
Not at all, according to these sources. That's often when unexpected connections get made. So maybe intentionally make a little space for your mind to just wander.
Okay, I'm willing to try that. Next up, practice first principles thinking. Sounds kind of fundamental.
It is. It's essentially breaking a problem right down to its absolute basic truths, the things you know for sure are true.
So stripping away all the assumptions.
Exactly. Instead of just accepting how things are usually done or relying on analogies, you reason up from those fundamental building blocks. Think Aristotle, Tesla, Elon Musk. They're famous for using this.
So the question is basically, what do I absolutely know is true here?
That's the core of it. It helps you innovate when everyone else is stuck in existing models. Break it down to basics.
Right. Number 6, leverage the power of no. This feels very relevant today. So much demanding our attention.
It really is. The sources suggest that geniuses understand focus is a form of intelligence. Their mental energy is limited, right? So saying no to distractions, to low priority stuff, sometimes even social things that drain you, isn't being difficult. It's strategic. It's protecting your bandwidth for what really counts.
Because every yes to something small is kind of a no to something potentially bigger.
Precisely. You have
Yeah.
to be selective about where you invest that mental energy.
Okay, final one, number 7. Teach to master. Like the old saying, the best way to learn is to teach.
Absolutely. It's often called the Feynman technique, when you force yourself to explain something complex in simple terms.
You immediately see where the holes are in your own understanding.
Exactly. You spot the gaps. Plus, the act of simplifying and articulating it really cements it in your memory and deepens your grasp. You don't even need an audience to try recording yourself or writing it out simply.
So to teach it, even if just to yourself, to really get it.
That's the idea. Explain what you learned simply.
Wow, okay. 7 really powerful uh, mental tools there. It's fascinating that these aren't necessarily innate gifts, but things you can actually practice.
Yeah, and when you look at them together, you start to think maybe the difference isn't just raw IQ, but the, conscious use of strategies like these.
Makes you think, doesn't it? So for everyone listening, out of these 7, which one kind of jumps out at you? Which one feels like you could maybe try, even just today?
Yeah, just picking one might unlock something unexpected.
Definitely something to chew on. Keep exploring those mental edges.